Let's talk a little bit about your relationship with the president. What sort of relation do you have? Is he like a mentor? Is he like a father? Or is he like the president of the republic? And that's the relationship
he's my everything. He's my father, he's my mentor, he's the head of state and government. I'm a citizen, he's the first citizen.
Yeah. What sort of person is he? I think the insight, you probably have the insight. Because he comes off, a lot of people don't know.
Yes.
Because he has a poker face. You don't know the sort of person. What is he like when the cameras are not on?
No, he's a wonderful father figure. He's a wonderful man. Yeah. Most people don't know him, like rightfully saying. They say, oh, Mnangagwa is cruel, always shot him. But no, he's a wonderful, wonderful, caring man.
I'm your president here in Zimbabwe. But all I am today is because of Zambia. I grew up in Zambia. Primary, secondary, university in Zambia. But Zambia's contribution is that I'm now president of Zimbabwe. So you must do it.
That's Emerson Mnangagwa for you, daring Zimbabweans. That you need to thank me for coming to Zimbabwe to make sure you live in hell. Because what is done is to turn our country into a hell on earth. I have no words to express how angry I am with the Mnangagwa and his criminal gangs. I know I'm not the only one. Zimbabweans at large can't wait to see the fall of this man. His fall is imminent.
From State House meetings to an intimate family celebration, Zimbabwean businessman Chivayo appears to enjoy unusual access to President William Ruto. His appearance at Charlene Ruto's traditional Kalenjin ceremony has once again raised questions about the nature of their relationship and whether it extends beyond friendship to business interests. Frida Okachi produced this report, voiced by Susan Wawero.
For most people, getting an audience with Kenya's president is no ordinary affair. But for Zimbabwean businessman Chivayo, meeting President William Ruto has become increasingly frequent. His latest encounter came on Saturday at Intona Heritage Farm in Kilgoris, Narok County. Chivayo and his wife were among the guests at Charlene Ruto's traditional Kalenjin ceremony.
Being driven by the President of the Republic.
President Ruto was captured on camera personally driving Chivayo and his wife towards a helicopter area, a moment that adds a distinctly personal dimension to a relationship that has largely played out through State House meetings and discussions around investment. Chivayo has also made no secret of his lavish lifestyle, regularly showcasing luxury cars, private jets and high-end properties on social media. Towards the end of 2025, Chivayo was at State House, Nairobi, describing the reception he received from President Ruto as one that made him feel a sense of belonging. On another occasion, he shared images of a meeting with President Ruto in South Africa. He said he was discussing a multi-million investment project in Kenya with President Ruto. Earlier last month, Chivayo took to X, once again describing Kenya as second home in terms that suggested a deepening personal connection. My journey yesterday perfectly reminded me why I often describe Kenya as my second home. Following an intensive week of business engagement across Botswana, South Africa and the Kingdom of Eswatini, I was once again privileged to pay a courtesy visit on His Excellency President William Ruto at State House in Nairobi. But the relationship has also attracted scrutiny of a possible business interest. Reports had linked IMC Construction Kenya, a company associated with Chivayo, to the planned expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. However, the government rejected those claims.
We don't know. Maybe you guys can answer that question better and help us so that we can clarify, because we are available to clarify.
Transport Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir said the company neither submitted a bid nor formed part of a consortium that participated in the tender process. But Chivayo's profile has also attracted scrutiny in his native Zimbabwe. The businessman has previously faced fraud charges, including a case involving the Zimbabwe Power Company.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. It's Wednesday. Let me know where you are watching us from across the world. That's all I can say. The highest number that watches our video is from Zimbabwe, following South Africa, United Kingdom, and other incredible countries. Y'all, you are heavily appreciated. This morning, it's a beautiful day. We're going to be looking at Emmerson Mnangagwa shows Chiwenga, the military generals, the middle finger. He appointed his runner, Tagwire, whom others are saying it's actually not his name, is Basa. He was given that name so that he could run the deals for Emmerson Mnangagwa. We'll dig into that today. Interesting days ahead. I want you to know that all that you're watching this charade will definitely end in tears. People aren't just quiet. It will definitely end in a river of tears. All right, there's a message for Emmerson Mnangagwa that I need to read from Reason Wafarova. He said, we gave you the benefit of the doubt when your principal rival, Nelson Chamisa, accused you of stealing the 2018 election and using the legal processes, particularly the V2 of V11's forms, to sanitize what he alleged was electoral theft. We gave you the benefit of the doubt again in 2023 when there were no publicly verifiable constituents' presidential vote tallies to support your declared 52.6% victory, and when, once more, your principal opponent accused you of stealing the election. You then used the lawfare to seize our opposition party through the Chivayo project. Now we no longer have only suspicion, we have both evidence and conviction. You stole the democratic voting rights of ZANU-PF members in Bulawayo in 2024 and through that manipulated process manufactured the so-called resolution number 1. You repeated the same process in Mutare in 2025 and produced the same predetermined resolution. You then stole the positions of Secretary General and Secretary for Legal Affairs in ZANU-PF from Obed Mpofu and Patrick Chinamasa and handed them to an elected duo of Ziyambi Ziyambi and Jacob Mdenda. You stole the national referendum that the Constitution reserved for the people in order to pass CAP 3. You stole the presidential election itself through CAP 3, taking away the people's right to elect their own president and transferring that power to members of parliament sitting jointly. Now you are taking away our freedom of assembly, our freedom to protest, our freedom of expression. You are turning the nation to a prison where constitutional freedoms are reserved only for those who praise you. Star rallies only for and by yourself and jail time without trial for all those that try and gather to oppose CAP 3. Most unforgivably, you have presided over an economy in which extraordinary wealth and opportunity have become centralized in the hands of a tiny political elite. We have undermined the independence of the Reserve Bank and weakened institutions that exist to ensure democratic accountability, including the judiciary and indeed parliament. We have stolen from us all our institutions of accountability. We have sought to strip us not only of our constitutional rights, but also of our dignity as a people, reducing citizens to mere subjects and declaring our country a kingdom under your self-mandated decree. Let me make this abundantly clear. We're stopping you, and we are stopping you now, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa. This time, we have beaten far more than you can chew. This is not a warning, neither is it a threat. It is a declaration of your inevitable and imminent fall. It is a declaration that your political project has reached its limit. Stand informed. I don't know what to say, but what Emmerson Mnangagwa is practicing today, which have been dealt with, I think, before 2017, maybe in the 90s, is exactly what is happening in South Africa. I've shown you over and over videos of some of the criminal gangs that were almost overtaking the country, being held accountable. And some of the stories that are coming out, they are shocking. You know, it's giving Zimbabwe. Take a listen.
Well, WhatsApp communications extracted from the cell phone of the alleged ringleader of the so-called Big Five cartel, Joshua Mswazi Msibi, links him to several dodgy international business deals, whilst purporting to be acting on behalf of the South African government. This includes an attempt in 2023 to buy what's usually known as a cell phone grabber through a ministry in the Czech Republic. But was using the South African Police Service badge and stamp to legitimise the transaction with the help of Police Sergeant Funny Nkosi. Through the text messages, the inquiries heard how this covert surveillance device was seemingly not meant to be used in the country but to be purchased on behalf of the Eswatini government. In another case, Msibi, private security owner Steve Motsumi and alleged criminal underworld figure Katiso KT Molefe also tried to purchase a signal jammer in Europe. Newsroom Africa's senior political reporter Ziyanda Ngobo has more from the capital, joins us now. Ziyanda, good afternoon to you. To go through this evidence, these messages, it's frankly incredible to hear what we're hearing and to see who was involved in what.
Absolutely, and it is painting a picture of a shadow government that was operating right underneath our noses, Stephen, and all the names that we've heard being bandied about seem to be central, least not in this testimony today, where those WhatsApp messages place Katiso KT Molefe, Steve Motsumi, Suleiman Karim, Sergeant Funny Nkosi at the center of what seems to have been a shadow government that had its own ministers and operatives that had particular tasks to execute, least not these deals that were trying to be conducted, because one of them actually fell through in 2023. The first is where they tried to buy what's colloquially known as a cell phone grabber, or as you'll know, it basically almost mimics the nearest cell phone tower, and it's able to actually pick up on the conversations and whatever information from our cell phones, mine and yours, Stephen. This is equipment that's not supposed to be in the hands of civilians, but meant to be at least not in the hands of, the likes of crime intelligence in countries. And it's important because it links directly to what some of Vusmusi Kat Matlala testified yesterday, including how someone like Suleiman Karim would also go to Jotham Mswazi Msibi's farm. In fact, we've heard that the farm seemed to have been the headquarters of this so-called shadow government, where from politicians to business people and other kinds of individuals would actually go to report or maybe even get instructions on their next tasks from someone like Msibi.
If you're new here, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and also comment responsibly. Just know that you are loved right here. Let's move on. South Africans have no clue how blessed they are. They have no clue. You know, sometimes when they talk about Zimbabwe, they actually don't know to what extent has Zimbabweans suffered under the hands of this man called Emmerson Mnangagwa. It's clear that behind all the pain that Zimbabweans went through during the Mugabe time, it was him. It's time for him to be shown the door. As I said earlier, it will end in tears. Yesterday, Emmerson Mnangagwa decided to anoint his runner, and that is Kudatagwere. Let's look at the reports from Zim Live. President Mnangagwa is using new powers under a constitutional amendment to appoint 10 senators. Among them, ambitious businessmen Kudatagwere. The others are Jabulani Svanda, Mary Muliswa, Nokutula Matikinyere, Godwills Masimirembwa, Lucy Chitaga, retired General Gibson Mashingaidze, Makosini Hlongwane, Brilliant Due, and Irene Mutumba. Oh yeah, but you remember the retired military general when he held a presser in support of Cap 3. Do you recall? I did not expect this. But you also need to understand that people are playing the game. Because criminals think they're smart. I've said it on my previous video, that Emmerson Mnangagwa has got a criminal mindset. Unfortunately, we always expect leadership from people who don't even have the capacity. And he's one of them. The guy is a criminal personified. There is nothing we're going to do in terms of law that you will respect, because he is not that kind of person. In fact, whenever we talk about laws, I think he laughs in his corner that these guys are stupid. Look the kind of crimes he's committed with his runner, Mr. Tagwere. We'll get into him shortly. Oh yeah, but wicked. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that Mashingaidze is the one that's, held a presser in Aurora. and let's talk about Kunatagwire. So Jonathan Moyo wrote a message, a tweet I'm going to read very quickly. He wrote actually a thread arguing with people. He said, come on. He firstly said, Regimond Matambo or Matambo is Kunatagwire's real name. Pals he grew up with speaking pure Isindebele. In Shuru, we call him Reggie. He became Tagwire at CBZ, set up Secunda for Mac deals. The rest is history. After US and UK sanctions, he's back to Matambo for some deals. So this is criminality at display. Criminality at display. I'm not surprised sometimes when I see Mnangagwa daring us. It's because it's like, I mean, how many things did I do in the country and you guys never even react to that? Oh, we're reacting, but I mean, when you talk of reactions to him is no one was able to confront me. In fact, I got promotion from being, I don't know, a noble to be a president of the republic, to control the national purse, the money itself. Come on, it's stupid to call truth that are uncomfortable or inconvenient to you, to your falsehoods. Mnangagwa Tagwire is Regiment Matambo and Emmerson Mnangagwa is also Zambian. These are unimpeachable facts. Live or deal with them without throwing infantile tantrums. So someone was disagreeing with Professor Jonathan Moyo. He said it's like hoping to disapprove a pregnancy by challenging the place of its conception. For the record, Kunatagwire was born Regiment Matambo. He went to school in Salukwe using his birth names. He has 2 siblings, a brother and a sister, going by their Matambo birth surname today. And one thing I can tell you is I believe many people have fake names in Zim, especially under the gangs of Emmerson Mnangagwa, because for them to commit crimes, they have to play around with the identity. Again, recently we saw the concubine, which is his daughter-in-law, Emmerson Mnangagwa, had a fake name that she was operating with. Can you see the modus operandi? Respect. Can you see? You guys, you have not yet understand who Mnangagwa is. Wait. The day of his fall is fast approaching. These moves that he has made, they make me excited. And I'm like, you know what, Famba Mnangagwa, because that's how you're going to fall. At least you are making sure that we get there very quickly. Someone said the fact that he has now wanted to personalize Zimbabwe is the reason why he is going to see that, oh my God, I never knew these people were on my side all along. But for me, it's a principal problem in our country. It doesn't matter your name or who you are. Let's do the right thing. Let's do the right thing, brothers and sisters. So yeah, Mr. Kunatagwire's name is fake, according to Jonathan Moyo. And not Jonathan Moyo now, he is actually a supporter of Tagwire because of the cash. That's what has ruined our country. The love of money is the root of all evil. It's a love of money that most of you know that this money is blood money, because many Zimbabweans died for this money. For Mnangagwa to commit his crimes, without challenge, he had to eliminate a lot of innocent lives. It's sad. Up next, the love of money is the root of all evil. There's a lady by the name Brilliant Dube who played Nelson Chamisa. You know, guys, the politics in Zimbabwe taught me one thing. Trust yourself alone. Okay? Because people are so desperate. People are offering themselves to Mnangagwa for money. So sometimes don't blame Mnangagwa. He knows how desperate Zimbabweans are. Not everybody, but I'm saying those that are selling themselves to him. I saw someone commenting, when I say we, I'm trying to make it easier so that we take accountability and make sure we won't get to repeat this again. Because if we continue to point fingers on a few, we're not resolving our issues. We need to get to the bottom of it. Every Zimbabwean needs to take accountability of where we are today. Yes, the military is to be blamed, but remember, most of the people in the military today didn't commit no crime. These were young people. You mustn't forget that. Most of the generals were played by Emmerson Mnangagwa. It's sad. But anyway, let's look at the comment from Modudusi. He said, Madam Dube was Nelson Chamisa's chief of staff in 2018. Was at the heart of election machine. give money to pay election agents in Marsh East in 2023. She never did. Recently turned up at BTC CDF. She was killing them from inside. So CDF, this recent organization, was heavily infiltrated. You know, guys, at least we all know their names, so we must write their names down and deal with them when all is said and done. These characters need to be held accountable. That's what I believe in. Freeman responded because he's also one of the organizers in CDF. He said infiltration and defections are known, expected given where we are in struggle. You plan for them and work to mitigate their impact. We knew about this as we structured CDF. The solution for us was decentralization and redundancy. There is no single point of failure. Coming to the matter of Brilliant Due, who was the deputy SG of the CDF, who has been appointed as a senator by Emmerson Mnangagwa. There's no way we would have known she would do this. If any gatekeeping or screening would have been done, she probably would have been one of those doing it. This is why we are against gatekeeping, because usually the gatekeepers end up being the traitors. CDF remains an open organization with a decentralized federalistic structure with autonomy and installation. The defection or fluttering of one soldier while demoralizing does not decapitate the organization. I completely agree. Do you know, what you need to understand is everyone who's deceiving people will pay heavy price. It's just a matter of time. I mean it. Everyone who's playing people under the guise of politics will pay a heavy price. You see, life got a way of dealing with evil. Zimbabwe is rotten. I pray for everyone. I pray for those who are genuinely out here, making Zimbabwe a better place. You are unique individuals. I'm not going to blow my own horn, but God knows my heart. I'm not a perfect person, but on this struggle, I've been faithful before God, because the God that sent me is the one I know I can never hide away from. You see every move that I make. Brothers and sisters, it shall rain. That is that lady called Brilliant Due, working for Emmerson Mnangagwa. And that's the last time I remember when I exposed that girl, and people thought maybe I was a hater. I wasn't. I'd seen it from afar that this person is up to something. And I remember warning some of my brothers and said, hey, she's coming to your group, be careful. I could hear the script. I studied many people work for Emmerson Mnangagwa by simply their words. I think that was from 2024 when they were trying to say, I need to push that Mnangagwa doesn't need a referendum. And what do I want? And I was like, no, nothing. But he must go for a referendum. If Zimbabweans' rules are saying he must go for a referendum, so be it. I don't need anything from anyone. I stand with God. And no one ever stood with God and was left to shame. None. I feel sad for Zim, but don't worry. It will end in tears for the wicked. I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section. You must have a good day, Father. Love each other. I love you too. May God bless you and may God bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.